Makes you wanna go. Makes you wanna go. Na 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 na. Makes you wanna go.
Hey, Mikki G. How are you today? We got laughs today, y'all, but we're not gonna get into that. You all right?
I'm happy. Let's not have any
All
jokes
right.
today.
Let's keep it that way.
Yes.
Let's get right on into it,
Okay.
everybody. Um, we are going to talk about from sagging to suits. In the world of fashion, trends can be as fleeting as they are influential. And I forgot to say thank you, everybody, for stopping by to see Gab with Goldn Bronze. We really do appreciate it. And so we are so transparent and oops, but I'm glad to say that you're here to see me today. And we appreciate it very much. So, in the world of fashion trends today, it's as fleeting as they are influential. Few transformations, however, capture the culture shift as dramatically as the evolution from sagging pants to tailored suits. This journey, which has taken place over the last few decades, God knows we know that, not only showcases the dynamic nature of men's fashion, but also highlights the social and cultural forces that shape our choices in clothing today. The trend of sagging pants, defined by wearing trousers low on the hips to expose underwear, emerged in the United States during the late 1980s and 1990s. Its roots can be traced back to prison culture, and a lot of people don't know that, where belts were often banned for safety reasons. So that led to the pants sagging below the waist. This look was adopted by the hip hop artists in the United States and street culture, transforming into a symbol of rebellion, nonconformity, and urban identity. For many young people, particularly those in marginalized communities, sagging was more than just a fashion statement. It was a declaration of defiance against social norms. It represented resistance to rigid expectations and a desire to carve out a distinct identity, and trust me, it did. Despite its controversial reception and criticism from mainstream society, sagging became synonymous with youth culture, making appearances in music videos, concerts, and everyday life.
Tell us how you really feel. So, but sagging as a cultural expression is originating, as she said, from hip hop and certain urban cultures. Sagging is often viewed as an expression of resistance to traditional norms and embrace of alternative identity. Okay. So sagging's impact on employment opportunities. Sagging is sometimes perceived negatively in professional context, potentially limiting access to certain job opportunities due to stereotypes and biases. And that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. So, sagging and stereotypes of rebellion is often as rebellious or unprofessional and can sometimes be unfamiliar, I can't even speak, unfairly associated with criminality or a lack of ambition. So they can be stereotyped as being criminals, basically, is what it's saying. Sagging, by contrast, may be perceived as less affluent or low class, even though it is often simply a stylistic choice rather than a reflection of socioeconomic status. Because you do see, excuse me, people that are not in that lower economic status sagging.
Yeah.
So, from sagging to suits. We're there, right?
Yes.
It's
So
late.
it's late in the day. Okay. Suits in professional settings. So suits are often associated with high paying, white collar jobs and have traditionally been viewed as essential for serious work settings. So they take you more seriously when you come into a suit. You sagging into a job or a white collar type job, they're not going to take you seriously. You may not get in the door.
So, in stark contrast, the suit has long been the epitome of sophistication, elegance, and power in men's fashion. Its history stretches back to the 17th century, evolving through the decades from elaborate aristocratic attire to the modern tailored suit we know today. It is worn in boardrooms at weddings and during important social events, serving as a uniform of success. Suits, however, have not remained static. From the double-breasted power suits of the 1980s to the more fitted minimalist cut and dominant body type suits of today, the silhouette and style of suits have continually shifted to reflect changing taste and values. The 21st and a resurgence of interest in bespoke tailoring, men seeking suits that reflect both their personal style and modern emphasis on individuality. Suit, Food as a political statement, for some, a suit can be a political choice, symbolizing respectability or desire to fit in, and transcends racial and social economic stereotypes, just like the sagging does. Uh, it is also a power statement. Wearing a suit often conveys power, authority, and confidence with certain cuts and tailors and colors, future further enhancing a more power image for some individuals.
Interesting. Well, there's also sagging and power dynamics somehow. So, sagging represents a form of power derived from cultural authenticity and can be seen as reclaiming agency against societal pressures to conform. So, some people see power in sagging, taking back their control.
Hmm. So it's really weird, but in this transformation of suits to sagging, this merging of worlds is blurred or has blurred the lines between casual rebellion of the sagging and formal elegance, allowing individuals to express themselves without the limitations of single fashion genre. So, excuse me, everybody, I have a cold. As young people would once embrace sagging. Okay, we will be right back.
We're going to just come back and discuss it. You finish your statement, then I'll.
So the desire to maintain an element of the rebellious spirit while appearing polished and professional led to the incorporation of streetwear elements in tailored outfits and vice versa. This hybrid approach created a more diverse wardrobe that would and could adapt to different environments, from from casual social gatherings to formal business settings. The combination of the two, blending and transcending the two. What do you think about that, Mikki?
I've seen so much because I can go walking down the street or driving down the street, and I've seen guys with their pants below their bottoms, and to me, it looks sloppy. It is not appealing to me as a person viewing this. And I've also seen in entertainment. I remember, I think it was Marky Mark. I think what Mark Wahlberg. I think they used to do an ad for one of the underwear companies, and he was sagging. And so, as
Mm-hmm.
you see it more and more, even on the big screen or in Hollywood or different places like that, it's become normalized. And so, it kind of gives a pass. And so, that's the professional industry as well. And they're sagging there. So, why not? Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I've noticed though that in the this generation is kind of leaning away from sagging so much, and I think it has a lot to do with the mothers our age stepping up because it's very unattractive to look at somebody's behind, and they actually would wear those belts below the gluteus maximus, so that they actually had to walk wobbly and wide
See?
legged in order just to keep the pants from falling to the ankles. And so society in the beginning accepted or normalized sagging, but now it's kind of like, yeah, we've had enough of that. So there are groups of men, more middle age to senior, that have stepped up to become somewhat of an example and a leader for young boys to accept and appreciate the more tailored, sophisticated look of wearing suits. And not so much as suits because they're not always appropriate at every event, but
Right.
shirts and slacks and jackets and a more sophisticated, elegant look. And that's becoming the acceptable norm. And like you said, I am so grateful for that. Because I used to tell boys that walked into my house, you cannot see my daughter unless you pull your pants up.
That's right. And keep them up. But that's another story.
Mm.
Um, so I'm so glad to see these men coming in because they're examples. They're training these young men. And I think that possibly the young men that we've seen walking around sagging probably were not taught to do something different. They're probably relying on their peers as examples as to what to do, their big brothers, etc. But I'm glad that there are men who are now introducing suits to young men, boys even, and teaching them the social etiquettes that's going to get them to the next level and not keep
Yeah.
them in a place where they're stereotyped. Because there was a young man, I was in the mall, and he had on a nice sweatsuit type jacket and the pants, but he was walking wide leg just to keep his pants up. And I thought, as a mom, I didn't say it to him, but sweetheart, can you just pull your pants up and put the belt around your waist? And that way you don't have to walk like that. Because if you walk like that for a long time and you're older,
You're going to have
it's
hip
going to be
problems.
worse. It's going to be worse. And so I don't know really how to get that attention, but I think these gentlemen who are wearing suits and becoming popular, I think that's a nice example for them to follow.
Yep. And some individuals may wear suits to deflect stereotypes or gain respect in certain environments, while others may intentionally sag to claim authenticity or reject societal expectations. Those are just people that are going to reject societal expectations in general, regardless to what it is. You know, they are rebellious type individuals. Um, and but it is, I think, becoming less of a norm to
Yes.
sag nowadays.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It doesn't look nice. It just, and I'm not sure who is affirming the people who are sagging as a norm. I don't know,
right.
but it seems like these trends come and go, but this has been around a long time. I'm really ready to see it.
It's been around the sagging since the 80s and the 90s and part of the 2000s, but according to the statistics, the trend is wearing thin. I'm
Yeah,
so glad to know
yeah,
um, that it is. But um, today, the popularity of suits has reached new heights, as we talked about it a minute ago, as many more men embrace the timeless appeal of sharp tailoring.
yes,
Brands are incorporating contemporary, yes, touches such as slimmer fits, if you notice, bold colors, and unique fabrics, allowing modern suits to stand out, sacrificing their traditional charm. Celebrities, influencers, and athletes alike are seen sporting suits on red carpets and in high profile interviews, even often mixing traditional styles with sneakers. I like that. I like the suits and the sneakers.
yeah,
Graphic tees. I like that too because that's mixing casual with classic and statement accessories to give a nod to their roots in street culture, like the we call them bangles. I don't know what men call
yeah,
them,
yeah, yeah,
to accessorize their things.
yeah.
That the popularity of shows like Suits, I don't know if you've ever seen that. and the rise of social media influencers like the Silver Fox Squad. Okay, y'all, I gave y'all a shout out.
Yeah.
Who champion a dapper, together look have helped to cement the place of the modern suit in today's fashion landscape. And this newfound appreciation for tailoring signals a shift where dressing well is seen not only as necessary, but also an art form and a model of self expression. And we will get further into that in just a moment. I know you have something to say about it, being a model or having modeled before. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
So, you guys, we are back and thank you for rejoining us. We are back and thank you for rejoining us. So, I gave a shout out to some gentlemen that kind of helped bring back suits, and that is the Silver Fox Squad. So, you can
Yes.
tell them Goldn Bronze mentioned them on her show if
Yes.
you want to.
I love it. When I saw those gentlemen on different shows, I thought, who are they? Very elegant, different types of suits, the silver beards, the gray beards. I just think it's amazing, that men who are of middle and older ages can be celebrated for their elegance and their style and their posture, and they look very healthy. We were talking about styles of suits. The first time I
Mhm.
saw a man with a suit and maybe a tee and no socks was Miami Vice, Crockett and Tubbs.
Yes.
And I
Hmm.
think from there, men sometimes don't wear socks with their suits. And you see their bare ankles, which is a trend. But that made it very normal. So it doesn't appear that a person just doesn't own socks anymore, because they used to have socks
Right.
over their suits all the time. And also the skinny trousers with the suits.
Yes.
Now, if if your body doesn't work for that,
I was thinking the same thing.
you might not try that look. Just get something that works for your body. And I say that in all areas, just because
In
they make
love.
it in your
It's
size,
stated in love.
stated in love. We want you to be at your best. So,
Right.
so just because they make it in your size does not mean you should put it on. So, tailored suits look great. Men that are teaching how to tie ties and different types of ties, different kinds of knots. I find that kind of like a fashion science. I
Hmm.
really love menswear. I love to look at menswear. And so I'm excited about trending out of the sagging, pulling those pants up, and wearing fashionable belts because there are a lot of belts that look really nice. And you can match those belts with some nice shoes. Can't tell you anything.
I co-sign that. So while sagging pants no longer dominate mainstream fashion as they did in the 90s, and you guys can tell I'm glad about it, their
Yes.
influence is far from gone, though. The relaxed fit, oversized silhouettes, and casual comfort that defined that era have made their way into modern menswear, ensuring that the rebellious spirit of the past continues to inform the fashion of today. The fusion of sagging, laid back style with the structure and precision of suits has created a unique blend that defines contemporary fashion. So they've figured out a way to blend the two. So I guess that the rebellious person might feel a little more comfortable tailoring it up a little bit instead of like down off their behinds. I'm not gonna stop. Men now have the freedom to express a wide range of identities through their clothing, whether it's donning a perfectly tailored suit for a business meeting or opting for loose statement pieces for a night out. The evolution from sagging to suits is a testament to how fashion can be a reflection of cultural shifts, which we've seen for the last 20 years. The, um, the personal growth to growing from sagging to suits and the changing ideals of what it means to dress with purpose and pride.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
Uh,
Because I think like dressing with purpose and pride is the suits.
well, there's a
That's my
purpose. There's a purpose for both, but I like that it's
yeah.
going towards suits.
Yeah.
What you were saying about mixing the two, I think is a good thing because they still have their identity, their expression, but their belt lines up a little higher. They might have on, like I said, the skinny jeans and um, and a tailored jacket. And they're not always in shirt and tie. Sometimes they wear a sport jacket, like you said, maybe going to dinner or casual Fridays at work or something like that. I've seen those changes, and I like the way it's evolving. The fashion for men is evolving, and men are becoming more intentional about the way they dress, and they take pride in the way they dress. I love to see that when it evolves to that. Now, let's listen. If you're in the 20s and you're in your 20s and you're sagging, you're a teenager, please, I beg of you, don't do it in your 60s. You're 50.
Oh gosh.
And
And
please
have
not
you
your
seen
40s.
I have seen older men sagging.
Well, maybe that's because there's nothing to hold it up. I don't know. I don't know.
She didn't say that. Or maybe it's too much in the front. Oops, I didn't say that.
Oh, we are out of control today, but that's okay. We're having fun. Having fun. But we're okay, so we're women, and a lot of men
Yeah,
want to attract women. So we're telling you the secret. We're giving you the
right.
sauce as to what we see that looks attractive and what we see that does not look attractive. So, outgrow those kinds of things as you get older, because as you get older, it just makes you look ridiculous, in my opinion.
And you know what? Our opinion matters. I just want to say that because we've had two shows where we had men on here talking about women and makeup. We
Right.
had a show where they were talking about women and fashion trends. And we had a show where we're talking about women and their bodies, the male's perception. So now we're giving it to you from the female perception of how we really feel about sagging versus suits. And I find a man in a suit much more attractive
Mhm.
than a man uh, 40, 50, or 60 with their pants below the gluteus maximus. It's like, I don't really need to see your underwear, sir. There's a time and a place for showing that. And that's exactly how I feel about you dating my daughter. Don't come to my door with your breeches down to your ankles. You're not going to get in, period.
No.
Until you go outside or to your car, pull your pants up to your waist,
Right.
even, and you don't have to have on a belt. Just don't have your pants below your butt when
Right.
you knock on my door. And I'm speaking from a mother's perspective. I have
Right.
the right to feel that way.
Right.
So you may not like what I'm saying if you're a young man or an older man that sags, but from a woman's perspective, we do not all find that attractive. We do not all find that attractive.
Not at all.
I really love to see. I like it when the men do wear their jeans with a sports jacket. To me, that's even classy,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah. Oh, a man in a suit every time. And I have two sons, and when they were teenagers, they tried it. I said, no, 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 pull those pants up. Now they
We,
are fathers.
we will let you finish in
Okay.
one moment.
All right.
Thank you, everyone, for coming back to Gab with Goldn Bronze.
Yes.
Okay, Mikki G,
So I
what we
was
talking?
saying that about my sons. I told them, don't try that. Pull those pants up. Now they are fathers. One of them has a son, and I see him really staying on top of him, watching how he's dressed, etc. And my grandson is 15 or so. So it's the age where they try their little rebellion and try to do what their friends do. I pray that he won't get stuck in that kind of a cycle because I want him to be successful, and I don't want he's a good young man, just a kindest
Mhm.
person, but I don't want someone to see him walking down the street and assume he's otherwise just because of the way he's dressed. The way you dress represents, it reflects a lot of times your personality, how you live, your thought
Yeah.
process. Maybe it's not fair to judge a book by its cover, but people do. If someone sees you coming down the street and you're sagging, they may pull away or go to the other side of the street, no matter if you're a good young man or not. And if you're in a suit, they may just come closer to you. They feel safer with that. So keep that in mind when you're dressing that way. If someone treats you a certain way, well, there might be a reason because of your visual attire.
Right. And so, Mickey, what do you think about when, say, if you have, I don't have any sons, but you have a son that is studious and maybe goes to church and does not sag. And then the other boys tend to make fun of him, maybe. This is a scenario. I'm not really sure it ever happens. Or tease him or bully him because he's not fitting into their societal norm.
Right. Well, one thing I think is it's up to the parents to help raise his self esteem and affirm him in the way he's dressing. You are an academic. You are going to be successful. You're working towards success. And maybe you can get him in certain clubs, maybe chess club or different clubs and organizations where people are more like him. They can affirm each other. And so birds of a feather in that area will flock together. So I think you have to build your son up to feel good about himself and not try to follow the popular way, because you're going to be successful one day. They may or may not be. But my job is to raise you.
That is so true. That
Yeah.
is so true.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We need to talk a little bit more about it. Let's see. What can we talk about? Changing perspectives. Is there a middle ground to sagging? Blending styles, maybe? Many younger professionals are blending formal and casual styles, such as pairing suit jackets with jeans and designer streetwear. We kind of mentioned that with the tailored clothing.
Yes.
I'm not too much informed about boys' clothes and men's clothing, is why we're having this show. I just have an opinion,
Right.
and my opinion is the more tailored uh, look versus the sagging look. But what do you think about? Is there a middle ground?
When you were talking about that, I thought about weddings. Men are in
Hmm.
tuxedos, but they have the skinny pants and the no socks. So that's kind of blending casual with a very formal event. And the jeans, the sport jacket, and maybe some loafers, a very casual look, but dressed up just a little bit. I can see
Hmm.
how you can blend them and make them work. I definitely can see that. And it's attractive. It to me it shows effort on your part. It's not a forgive me, it's not a lazy way to dress. The other way to me
Hmm.
seems like you put no effort into it. It's very lazy. You got up and you threw something on, just anything out of the drawer or the laundry basket, threw it on and went out of the house. But when you dress a different way, you look intentional. And I can appreciate that as a woman and a woman of a certain age, but even looking at men who are younger, I can appreciate
Hmm.
that. I admire that in a young man that he puts forth the effort to look nice.
Yes, and something came to my mind that I'll touch on is first of all, the no socks situation. That is a trend as well. And I think to me, there should be some age limit to that. Like, I think it's okay for the teenager and the 20 and the
Yeah,
30, and maybe even till you get to 45. But I think after that, some real nice socks is classy with
yeah.
the suit or otherwise. What do you think about that?
You make a very good point. I hadn't thought about these age groups
Right.
because I would expect them to have on socks, so I didn't even think about it. But yes, because it's a more pulled together look. It's not an accidental look. Even wearing socks that complement your suit. I wouldn't
Hmm.
have on unless it's for some particular party or something. Maybe a dark gray suit and some bright orange socks. What it what? What is that about? You know, if you can blend the socks when you sit down, the pants, the hemline raises a little bit, and you see the socks. All statements aren't good statements. Just saying.
Just saying. So I have another thought. Let's talk about this.
Okay.
Okay. It has nothing to do with suits or sagging, but it has to do with casual versus tailored. And I feel like you can even classy up this look. But I like athletic wear. I like the what they used to call the jogging suit.
Yeah.
Now it's just an athletic suit
Yes.
with matching shell like I have and
Yeah.
tennis shoes. So, like if you have on a Nike athletic, it looks sharp to me to have on some Nike shoes or match the colors. To me, that's very classy, and it's kind of not tailored, but just it's casual and classy. Let's say that. I like that look. And I like that look in 5 year olds to 90 year olds, if you ask me. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just like the way it looks. What do you
Yeah.
think?
It's coordinated, and I do
Mhm.
like that. However, that young man I told you I saw in the mall that was in the orange outfit like that, he
Yeah.
had it down below his hip line and he was walking like that. But he
So
had
what you think? Did he buy it too big or what?
he I guess the drawstring he drew it around his thighs. And I thought it's such a nice that's why I remember it. It was such a
That,
nice looking outfit. He was a nice looking young man, had his braids set real nice, but he had these joggers beneath his bottom and he's walking like this. But I like the look. I like the coordinated look. If
yeah.
it looks like you thought about it before you walked out of the door and you thought well about it, then it shows up when you walk out of the door. We can tell the difference. I like that look, what you talked about.
Yeah, I wear a lot of athletic wear myself.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, the next thing that complements casual wear, not necessarily sagging, but
Right.
casual wear, athletic wear, and suits is head attire. Now, if you know, I love to wear a hat, a scarf,
Yeah.
a cap, uh, I do my hair up with whatever.
Yeah.
I love to see a man in a suit with a nice hat on. What do you
Yes.
think?
Well, I like it, but it depends on the hat. I don't like what I don't like is a pink suit, a pink derby, and a pink,
Too much.
it's just too much. It does. I like a nice fedora, or a nice
Yes,
brim hat, but I don't like the clown suit outfits. I don't like that. And I don't like for men to wear them indoors. You're walking around all the time with a hat on when you go to
right.
church or different places. I just think it's respectful to take it off. So I like the hats, but do it well. Do it smartly.
I love hats. I love caps. I love scarves. I love headbands. I love it all. And I think that I even have sun hats for the summertime with the sundresses and beach hats, big beach brimmed hats when I go to the beach. And I am just a hat person. I really do appreciate them a
Yeah.
lot. I think with women, whether it is a hat, a cap, a scarf, a wig, I believe that we have the accessories for
Right.
our heads to go along with whatever outfit that we are wearing. I really do.
Yes.
So we talked about sagging, athletic wear, in the middle, suits and tailored looks. Did we miss anything when it comes to suits and sagging?
I don't think so. I was thinking about those baggy zoot suits they used to wear. That's kind of saggy baggy, but I'm glad they're away from those. Remember the coat line, the hem lines came all the way to the knees, and the pants were
Yeah,
baggy. I'm glad.
yeah, yeah. But it was at the 90s because Steve Harvey wore a lot of
Steve
those. Yeah,
Harvey, Bishop Jakes used to wear them. Different ones would wear
yeah,
those suits, and
yeah,
I'm so glad those are gone. I like the new tailored modern look that they have now. It's um,
yeah.
it's very good. It's very clean lines. And also, I like accessories too. I'm the accessory queen in my family. So
Mhm.
love it, love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, what do you think about the suits with the thin, skinny legs? Did we talk about that? We did talk about
We
that last
did. We
time.
did. I like them on probably younger men, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones, not so much. And the bodies, a lot of times the bodies are changing now. There are some very fit men in the 50s and 60s. As example, the Silver Fox Squad. We shouted you out twice, but like them, very fit, very elegant, very
Hold on.
tan.
We'll be right back.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe it's. I think it's about to stop.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. I think it only downloads 30 minutes, so I'm
Okay.
gonna have to dice it up. Here we go. Oh, it just. So, were you talking? We want to finish your statement real quick.
Oh, I was saying I like the more tailored athletic look, and even the men who are older are carrying that off very well. And that's pretty much what I have to
Yep.
say. We like it.
And I agree. And the journey from sagging pants to suits is more than just a tale of two fashion trends. It's a story, excuse me, of how we are fusing the two together, how men's fashions have evolved to accommodate the complexities of modern identity. This evaluation embodies a deeper understanding of how clothing can serve as a powerful tool for expression, allowing men to navigate various spheres of life, and while staying true to who they really are, true to their own identity. And we want to thank you all for listening to Gab with Goldn Bronze. We have a few things to tell you, which we will do momentarily. And before we get to that, I just want to say that I appreciate your stopping by to listen to us. Come back tomorrow. We'll be right back here with something more interesting on tomorrow.